The judge's son was born deaf, until a single-dad veteran pulled out something impossible. The courtroom was silent, except for the sound of a little boy's laughter echoing through the marble halls. No one could believe it. That boy, the one everyone knew as the judge's silent son, was laughing, hearing, for the very first time. And standing in front of him, trembling with emotion, was a single-dad veteran whose hands were still shaking from what he had just done. But let's rewind a few weeks earlier. Judge Raymond Holt was known across the state as a man of absolute law and logic. He was strict, disciplined, and famously hard to move emotionally. People feared his courtroom more than prison itself. But behind that stoic mask was a man broken by something no law could fix. His only son, Ethan, had been born completely deaf. Years of therapy, surgeries, and world-class doctors had failed. Ethan couldn't hear the sound of his father's voice. The judge had all the power in the world, but couldn't give his boy a single sound. Then one morning, outside the courthouse, a worn-out truck parked near the entrance. A man stepped out, his limp noticeable, his jacket old and patched. His name was Michael Carter, a single-dad veteran who'd lost almost everything after returning from war. Once an Army field medic, he now worked repairing medical devices from his garage, just to feed his daughter Lily. That morning, fate crossed paths. Michael was there to plead for custody of his daughter after his late wife's parents filed for guardianship, claiming he was too unstable to raise her alone. And the judge assigned to the case was Raymond Holt himself. When Michael entered the courtroom, he saw the judge sitting tall, his expression unreadable. But beside him sat a small boy with bright blue eyes, staring curiously at the moving lips of the people around him. Ethan. During the hearing, Michael's voice cracked as he described his struggles, the nightmares, the low-paying jobs, the promise he made to his wife before she died. No matter what happens, I'll never let Lily grow up without love. But the opposing lawyer ripped him apart. They showed photos of his rundown home, the broken hearing aids he was tinkering with, the hospital bills he couldn't pay. The judge listened in silence, cold and detached. When the verdict was announced, Michael lost. He felt his world crumble. He packed his things, ready to give up. But as he left, he noticed Ethan standing alone near the hallway, trying to fix a small hearing device that had fallen apart. Michael knelt beside him, gently took the gadget, and said with a smile, "I used to fix these for soldiers who couldn't hear after explosions. Let me try something." Ethan watched curiously as Michael worked with steady, careful hands. Within minutes, he had adjusted the coils, soldered a tiny wire, and whispered, "Try this, buddy." Ethan placed it in his ear, and for a moment, nothing. Then, suddenly, his eyes widened. He gasped. He turned toward a sound, the faint humming of the ceiling fan. He heard. Tears filled his small eyes as he looked at Michael and mouthed, "Sound." Michael nodded, his own voice breaking. "That's sound, kid." The commotion drew the judge, who rushed over. When he saw Ethan reacting to the world around him, tears streamed down his face, for the first time in years. "Ethan, can you hear me?" he whispered. And when the boy's lips curled into a smile and he nodded, the judge collapsed to his knees. In the days that followed, the story spread like wildfire. The judge's deaf son had heard for the first time, not because of doctors, not because of wealth, but because a broken veteran refused to stop fixing what others gave up on. Judge Holt called Michael to his chambers the next morning. Michael expected anger, maybe even accusations. But instead, the judge stood up, extended his hand, and said softly, "I owe you something I can never repay. You gave my boy his world back." Then he handed Michael an envelope. Inside it wasn't money, it was a signed reversal order. "You'll have full custody of your daughter," the judge said. "A man who can fix my son's silence deserves to raise his own child." Michael's eyes filled with tears as he hugged his daughter tightly. Ethan, now laughing nearby, tugged at the judge's robe and pointed toward Michael. "He helped people," the boy said, his voice trembling but audible. The judge smiled proudly and replied, "Yes, son. He's a hero." Months passed. Michael's small garage turned into a foundation funded by Judge Holt himself, Sound of Hope. Together, they worked to help veterans and children with hearing loss, using Michael's simple, affordable modifications that no big company had ever cared to develop. One summer evening, during the foundation's opening ceremony, Ethan ran onto the stage and called out, "Dad! Mr. Michael!" The crowd went silent. The once deaf boy was speaking clearly. He looked at Michael and said, "Thank you for giving me sound, and giving my dad a heart again." Michael knelt beside him and smiled, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "You gave me something too, kid, a reason to believe again." As the audience erupted in applause, Judge Holt stood there, watching the man who had once been just another case file in his courtroom, now a brother in hope, a friend, a reminder that miracles aren't made by wealth or science, but by heart. And as the camera zooms out on Michael, Ethan, Lily, and the judge standing together under the banner of Sound of Hope, the narrator's voice whispers, "Sometimes, the loudest miracles come from the quietest hearts." If this story touched yours, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because somewhere out there, another silent world is waiting to hear again.